Welcome back, everybody, to Bourbon Over Baseball with your host, Bob Coast, Jeff, Matt, and El Presidente Peter.
Yo.
Today, we are back on the 2000 pennant breakdown of the teams, draftable players, random facts, and drinking bourbon and other alcoholic beverages. We have on the docket for you guys.
Phillies, strike 'em 1, 2, 3, on the road to victory.
Yeah, the terrible... No.
I'm so scared of this team.
Yeah, the Phillies, they have a couple monster players on their team that we're going to talk about. I actually played them a handful of times. There's some really, really bad people on the team we'll talk about too. But overall, I feel like they got a pretty draftable team here. So we'll break down some of the players. Any pre-thoughts going into this, anybody?
Bobby Abreu won the MVP in the first ever league that I played with other people. And it was a league that included cards from the 2002, 2003, 04, and 05 sets. And he was beating those like on base 13 statistically. So he's a beast.
Oh my God.
And we'll show you what his beast of a card was because he is up first. Bobby Abreu, on base 10, A speed, left field, right field, +1, only 3 outs, single pluses at 15. Pretty stellar card. Pretty expensive for $550. I usually don't play with this card, but pretty awesome.
Looks great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that jersey's awesome.
He just like looks like a great foil. Like it jumps off the page at you. Do you guys want to spend $550 on this kind of player?
No.
Yeah, that's where I kind of, I'd rather have like Roberto Alomar for $560. So I don't know.
I'm just picking 40 more points and grabbing Griffey.
Yeah, or that, yeah. But again, pretty solid card here. I just think he's a tad expensive for a draftable team. But I don't think you're gonna be disappointed with this guy on your team if somehow you had to play with him. I think he's a great leadoff hitter, great 1-2, somewhere in there.
Really good number 2 hitter.
Yeah. Next up is Marlon Anderson. 6 A speed, second base, +3. Nothing too great here. Pretty high double chart.
Yeah, I like his chart, but you're just never going to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
He was their second baseman all year. He had 26. This team had a ton of doubles.
I feel like we've just been teased with like the best and most fun charts have no doubt been on base sixes.
Oh, that's what it always is.
Yeah, they're not getting nearly enough plate appearances, so they have to assume things.
Yep.
Man,
well, that's what the Javi Baez scenario is in all of our leagues now.
Yeah, with being a 6, you're not getting on enough, so you have to up their chart so that when they do get it, they do some damage.
Right.
I mean, everyone in their quote unquote starting lineup had over 20 doubles on their baseball reference page.
And they were still only 6th in the NL in total doubles.
Wow. Yeah,
but they only had 18 less than Montreal.
Wow.
So everyone was like clustered at 300-ish doubles.
Yeah. So again, pretty good card chart-wise, but I don't want him not for $150, and he's kind of whatever to me.
I'd take him over Orlando Cabrera.
Even though +5? Well, because he's an A speed?
Yeah, and the better chart, I think.
I guess that's true. I just like that +5 at shortstop. He can really let you play around depending on your league with errors. And if you I felt like there were a lot of ground balls. So, I mean, this guy hits 3 of them. Luckily, he's A speed.
Yeah, he's legging it out.
Yeah, that's him hitting into a ground ball in this picture. Next up, we got Alex Reyes. We got 8 on base, shortstop +3 for 220. Nothing too spectacular here. I don't like the giant single range here. 220 seems like a weird range to have this.
I think he's about to drop a ball.
Yeah, this one's lost in the lights.
It's lost in the sun.
Yep.
You can see the sunlight glaring from the picture I took.
yeah. It's in the wrong corner. But But yeah, nothing crazy about this card. For 220, you get an 8. That's about the best thing you can say about this. You're not really liking the chart. Next up is Rico. How do you pronounce this one? Brogna? Hope it's Brogna. Let me know, Rico, what we got here. But he was the oh, did I get kicked out of Zoom? Hold on, everybody. I'm the only one in this thing real quick. Well, I will talk to you about Rico Brogna while this is connecting again. We got the 102 RBIs. Again, a crazy good RBI count, much more than everyone else on the team. Let's see here if I can get logged back into this meeting that we're doing. But obviously the one on he did a pretty great job for their team. He just hurts with the on base here, only being a 7. But he led the team in RBIs. He had 90 runs, way up there. Obviously, they had three guys with 100. Nothing too great about this chart. You're not thrilled about it if you don't have it, or you don't have to have them on your chart. With the on base, but the chart's great. 7 through 13 single, 14 single plus, 15 double, 17 triple. He had 4 triples. I actually don't know this guy at all in terms of like remembering him as a baseball player. He only played 9 years, handful for the Mets and whatnot. Wow, apparently I got kicked out of the meeting. Let's see if I can relog back on to everybody to try to jump in with the drinkers. Well, we're having technical difficulties here. Let's see here. Maybe something happened. Let's see if I can get back on here. Come on, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, am I back?
There
You're
he
back.
is.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My internet must have kicked me out. I just kept talking.
That's what we assumed happened.
I mean, the listeners are going to be like, this is the worst fucking podcast. There's like 5 minutes of Bob. That's like the worst person we wanted to hear.
Well, and I
We
said,
were to talk
do you
to the
think
target
Bob's still
Alex
talking?
Reyes.
I moved on to Rico Brogna, which I was talking about. I hope his name is Brogna.
No, it's Bronya.
Dang it. So I was hoping it was Brogna because that's pretty sweet. But he led the team in RBIs. I mean, he had only an on-base 7. He wasn't that good in general, but decent chart.
Was he like hitting 4th?
He had to have Glanville and Abreu ahead of him. That's the only explanation.
Well, yeah, Gant, Glanville, and Abreu all had 100 runs. So
Okay.
Oh.
So he had the 102 RBIs.
Lieberthal even had 90. Lieberthal was a beast.
Yeah, they
Who
must
was
have had.
Rolen?
They must have had like Glanville, Abreu, Gant, and then maybe Rico was. I don't know. He had 24 homers, and yeah, like Lieberthal had 31, so maybe they had him right there as well.
And we haven't gotten to Scott Rolen yet.
Oh, that's right. So I don't know where this guy batted, because Scott Rolen is a monster.
Yeah, maybe is Brogna a lefty? So maybe they like did a little
Oh, maybe.
right left, and Ron Gant was ahead of him, and Glanville first, Abreu second.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, this is what's interesting here is another +1 first baseman. This card's not bad for 240, but I don't like the 7 on base. But we were just talking about obviously Lee Stevens, and this card has got a pretty good chart for that.
I just literally my 2 first basemen were Rangers Lee Stevens and this Rico Brogna in my starter pack, and they are very similar, underwhelming performers in game.
Oh, really?
They never did that much.
Well,
but I mean, they
they're
were always going up against Maddox and Cone. But
yeah,
still.
I mean they're on base 7s, which isn't the best, but I just feel for 240, you're getting a decent value here.
Matt, did he deserve the +1?
He didn't, by what we would say.
Somebody must have saw him do like an amazing play at like first. They gave him that +1.
Yeah, he had too many
Give it
errors.
to him.
Give it to him. Looks like he's got like a stack of dip in his mouth or Big League Chew.
Oh, no question. But that's definitely dip.
Yeah.
There's
He's
no
like,
way.
don't hit this ball at me. I'm in the middle of a good dip.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna earn this first base +1.
Yeah.
Imagine how good he'd be if he'd been taking steroids.
Yeah. Yeah, I just never even knew about that. Like, I don't remember hearing this guy's name, like, as a kid, like, watching TV. No one was like, Rico, this guy's stud for the Phillies. But I always heard Abreu and Rolen and Glanville and Gant. So I don't know. Next up, Paul Byrd, Indians. Paul Byrd, starter. This is where we talk about our typical guy. But he's got the extra, single there. But 1 through 16 out. I like a 320, 3 control guy. But I'm nitpicking now. This is your basic average pitcher.
Right.
Fun fact: he was an all-star.
I got a couple things for that too.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
He led the league in hit batters. And by our calculation, should have a home run in his chart.
Really? Oh, 1.5. Wow, look at the whole Phillies team except for like Curt Schilling and Carlton Laura, all 1.5, 1.9 for Chad OJ, 1.5 for our persons. Randy Wolf.
To be clear though, like everybody was hitting home run. I mean, there was great pitching, but
there's more home runs now.
It'd be like the 2019 set.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, no, I guess
this
that
guy
would
got
really,
lucky.
if you did a remastered, I think like a lot of these guys would have home runs on their charts.
Yeah.
So
I just don't understand how he made the all-star team.
he
What
probably
was his first half splits?
Yeah, I was gonna say, or he hit someone that everyone hated. They're like, fucking love Paul Byrd. He doesn't
Yeah,
give a
17
shit.
times.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit about that guy.
I guess Ken Bottenfield made it too. I think he had a real stinker of a card for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he was like a 3 out through 16.
Who made who was in the World Series in '98?
Padres
and Yankees.
I wonder who the Padres manager picked. Because usually the pitchers they sometimes like the extra guys always seem to be like the manager's dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I really wish for cards like this where he hit the most batters in the league. Why not just switch that walk to be an HB? Like, just do it. Like, I wish that there was some way.
you just want the Astros to get beaned in the new season we're about to do.
Oh my god, dude! Anytime I'm standing. Do you think I'm like when I play games in our league and I'm facing an Astros, I'm gonna hit them once. Like if as long as I'm not like walking in a run or really in a tough situation, I'm going to hit them.
Yes, I love it.
So he was 11-5 in the first half of the season.
What was his ERA?
3.9.
So nothing crazy, but he was probably one of the league leaders in wins.
Yeah, and he had a 5.6 ERA in the second half.
Yeah, because he finished 15-11.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was probably one of the league leaders in pitching, and they're like, "This dude's killing it."
Bobby Abreu didn't make the All-Star team.
Overrated.
Lieberthal did. They had 3 All-Stars, but not Bobby Abreu or Scott Rolen.
Wow.
It's fun looking at the splits.
Oh my! Alex Gonzalez made the All-Star team.
Yeah, he did. in the 15 wins that Paul Byrd pitched in, he had a 2.7 ERA, and in the 11 losses, he had over a 10.
Wow.
All or nothing. They should give him like a control 0, 1 through 19 out card.
There you go.
Write this down for if we do a remaster.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Next up, Ron Gant. This card I do actually like. For only $330, you get the on base 9. B speed. I don't like the 1 through 5 out and a big walk range, but I do like that 16, 17, 18 triple is pretty fun. Fills up every chart here. I think it's pretty solid for a 330.
Yeah.
Yeah. He almost always gets picked up in our drafts.
Next up, Doug Glanville. This was for my whole childhood, Peter. my leadoff hitter.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I can get a +2 center fielder, 9 ace speed. This guy's the best ever. And then
I like him as a commentator because I like this card so much.
Yeah, but he went down in the 0-1 set, right? He went.
I think he was like a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always loved him because of this card, and yeah, I do like him as an announcer because of this card. Because I just remember always playing with this guy. He took up so much of my salary, but I always thought he did great for me. Great leadoff hitter for 390 at a 9 ace speed. Awesome in the outfield. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt you.
Mm-mm.
Next up, Wayne Gomes.
Oh,
So, Mr. Gomes here.
who wants some trivia?
First let me just talk about him because he's a closer for only 130. No
Cheers,
doubles.
Pop.
Weirdly, 1 through 14 out.
Well,
Yeah, was
he
he
has,
the first?
he has a large whip.
Okay.
Was he the first 14 out guy in the set?
I
No.
think so.
Was he?
Oh, there's a guy in the Marlins too.
Yeah, I thought we just did one just recently.
I'm okay with 15 to 18 walk though. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I
Did you
can
draft this
manage
guy?
that.
He's a forward, the 1 through 14.
You can get 3 tiers better by paying 30 more points for Steve Klein.
Well, again, that I 100% agree because like
Closer
I think
bonus.
if you go-
But no double.
That's so true. No doubles.
no doubles, and if you go up by 10 points, you get like the best reliever in the game or something. If you go down by 10 points, it's the worst reliever in the game. Like,
Yeah.
this whole
And
thing
the-
is broken.
Yeah, this
And the
guy's
30-point
100
closer
this guy's
bonus.
a 100-point
Same
player.
points
Yeah,
to get
that's what 30-point closer bonus.
Yeah, this guy's worth 100 points in my opinion. Maybe.
No.
What's our
Because-
trivia, Matt?
I guess it wasn't a trivia, but like, what do you think his walk per 9 was?
Oh, I can see
but
it.
you
So
probably
I
are
won't
looking
guess.
at it. Yeah.
It's high. I'm going to take a stab at 6.8.
No,
Yeah,
that's exactly
you're,
what it
you're
is.
dead on. Like it's almost as high as his hits per 9. That's insane.
Yeah, actually, in his strikeouts per 9 is like right there too. So your closer comes in, you're like, he's doing 3 things no matter what. Like
Well, his strikeout range, but it doesn't show on his chart at all.
you're actually you're right.
Outside of that, I will say I really like how they did the card, balance it, because one of the things, we've tried to sort of struggle with the tiers and stuff is the actual production of the ERA when whip is the more accurate sort of like on base number
Yeah.
for the cards. But here we have a guy with a whip over 1.7, which is insane. But his ERA was only 4.26. So they did what we do within the tiers where the guy has like a worse whip than his ERA. And we tend to give them like a slightly higher control and a bunch more outs on their chart so that they give up more base runners, but their ERA should be about the same as someone else. So like a guy who's a control 3, 1 through 18 out should have about the same ERA as a guy who's control 5, 1 through 16 out, but the 1 through 16 out guy's going to give up more base runners off his chart. And it's the similar sort of thing here where they saw the terrible whip and they were like, let's just give him a huge walk range on his chart.
Well, also in they didn't do 2s and 1s, so they were
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know, we can't really drop him too low.
That's true.
We
And-
could give
and
him
it
the
could
0, but I don't know.
It could be random coincidence, but his strikeout per walk is basically a 1, and that's his strikeout and walks on his chart.
Yeah.
They're the same. So if maybe we just discovered something, or it's just he's the only one.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty cool chart for this guy, but I do not want him.
If I ever draft him for one of your blind drafts or anything, Bob, we have to play Wild Thing every time I bring him in.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do that. Oh man, I didn't even look at this next picture you took.
Yeah, my bad.
Jeez Louise. Probably should have done some quality control before we started playing. So
I wish he
anybody-
was a speed A before it
Yeah.
would have been better.
Right,
but
right.
Anybody that's watching this, don't mind your headache that you're getting right now. Like Kevin Jordan is a 7 C speed, plays second base and third base here for
Yeah.
150.
he's so bad, I just took the picture and tossed
Yeah.
him off the table.
There's nothing great at this card. He doesn't really have a great chart. Huge single range. He's slow with the 7. You do not want this guy. Next up, the monster, Mike Lieberthal. Yeah, I mean, this is where you're kind of going, like I was saying earlier with the catchers, where you're either going high or low. Like you're either punting and going low. This one you're just below probably average arm, but you get the 8 on base, and you're getting a pretty damn good chart. I wish I had a little less on the singles here, but I mean, he's slow. What do you expect here? But you get 14 doubled, a big home run range.
I feel like a 6 is probably about the average arm.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, I wouldn't say average in general. I'm saying like when you see a draft, like people want the 7s, the 8s. You know, that's what they're looking for. You know, you're talking about just one lower than that, but 340 is a little steep here, but you're grabbing him for his bat in this scenario, but you're not getting hurt on the arm, which is great.
So what do you think got him that +6, even though he won the Gold Glove?
He did win the Gold Glove.
Yeah, it's because they do it like I did,
Yeah.
or like we do. He threw out 32% of his batters,
Okay.
so it's like a fifth of his caught stealing.
Yeah, and then
That was like the easiest calc from the originals to ours.
Yeah, and actually I like the way that translates a lot just because of the way it does. I know Clutch has a pretty cool system where the pitcher and the catcher have a combined total because you can do pickoffs, which is pretty cool. And, you know, there's like, you know, if the pitcher is like, I was thinking like a Mark Burley, who's a quick release, you know, that helps too. But obviously I think for just Showdown, when you're talking about just easy statistics here, this is obviously great and it works really well. And then we do is if you do the Gold Glove gets a little bit of a bonus.
Yeah, we just give the Gold Glove a +10 in
well,
both.
I wouldn't say we always do that, but I think Roberto Perez, who got the Gold Glove for our season, had like a +9 arm, and so
he was a +8 before.
So +8, so he got like a +2 bonus for being the Gold Glove.
And I think Real Muto was the same.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if I'd give like a +2 arm guy the +10 bonus for getting the Gold Glove, but I would definitely give him a bonus.
Go that far.
Yeah, I would give him some bonus points though, because he definitely earned it.
Yeah, and like poor Mike Lieberthal, he had a really good year, and I feel like the chart. I feel like guys who were in the 360-ish, 370 on base range, I think they kind of just got robbed in this set.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who had 30-30 season with 96 RBIs, didn't walk a whole lot, but didn't strike out a lot either. Batted 300 and 363 on base, and the card just is like, man, I just remember being so good for the Phillies. Like, you just would be disappointed.
Yeah, I would. I am disappointed. I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited to potentially remake him.
Yeah, that'd be. Now you guys are getting more excited about remastered.
Yeah, you're talking about it too much to where people are going to expect it now.
Yeah. You don't know. Next up, Steve Montgomery. See, this is what we're talking about. This is the same as the closer.
Closer bonus.
Yeah.
This is so confusing. I'm so confused. I'm so lost here. What do points mean?
Yeah. So you can get, I can get a closer with 4-1 through 14 out, or a reliever 5-1 through 15 out. This guy, what's the guy from The Office? The main guy's name? Is it Steve Carell?
Yeah.
That's the actor.
Yeah, doesn't this look like him?
Michael Scott.
It does look like Steve Carell. They were outside Philly.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's got this face that's like, just, he looks like a dad. Like,
right. He knows that he knows he's gaming the system here. He knows he's breaking the game.
Yeah. I think
got a little dad gut.
Dude, this card's great though for 130.
Yeah.
For real. Absolutely great.
I didn't even know about this card because I usually only try to get the big sixes or whatever, but you're trying to grab a little bit of extra salary here, and you're not a big, I guess, ground ball fan. I think for 130, this card's great.
I use them all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Peter's deep knowledge. He's deep state. Next up, the great Chad OJ. He does get drafted because he has 10 points.
Wow.
But look at his did you look at his home run range? His
Is it like is it 1.9?
1.9 home runs per 9. So you're talking about a guy who pretty much, he probably only pitched like six innings, maybe less than that in real life. He's giving a home run every start, basically. every fucking start. I'd be so pissed when this guy came to pitch.
That's Josh Tomlin right there.
Yeah. And I mean, this is a very fun chart because he's obviously got the 0 because he was so bad. And they're like, but he's 1 through 18 out because that's what we do with zeros. And then like, but let's give him a 19-20 double homer. Like,
they brought him in to finish 3 games for some reason.
Oh, really? So they must have demoted him at the end of the season.
Well, he had 28 games started.
Yeah.
I mean, and he had 8 relief appearances.
Yeah, they had to demote him because he probably gave up a couple games where he just home run. The fans were probably so pissed. Philly fans, they get crazy.
I like that he looks like he's about to get shelled again.
He looks so pissed.
Like he looks like he's about to he's a softball. I mean, he looks like a softball pitcher. The way that the stomach's kind of hanging over the belt, the shadow beard he's got going on.
Oh,
He looks like he's about to lob one in there for like Luis Gonzalez to crush over the fence.
The catcher's like, dude, throw the curveball. He's like, nah, I'm thinking fastball down the center.
He knows he's about to give up a home run here. Like, that's what that face is.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know this, but I forgot he was on the Indians.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
He was good.
What year did he play for the Indians?
94 to 98.
Okay. Before,
then 99.
So
99
we got rid of him, gave him to the Phillies, and he did terrible.
Yeah, it was his last season.
Yikes.
He was 6-12. Woof.
Next up is a card that a lot of people pick up is Scott Rolen. Obviously, one reason being that he's a 9, and the other reason being the +3 third base. I actually played this guy a lot when I was a kid because I thought, fielding was super important. And, this guy was just your monster home run hitter. This, to me, was like a foil to me. Because he was so powerful. He always hit home runs for me. I mean, a great chart. 12 to 13 single, and you're single plussing at 14. It's pretty expensive, though. You got to really drop $460 salary on this guy. But I don't know. It feels pretty right on for his card, though.
I like it because if you're spending a lot of points on a guy, you don't want him to just be one-dimensional all the time, and you're getting defense, speed, and power.
Yeah, I like his chart a lot, being that the 12 is the single here. I mean, I really want, when I get that chart, to have a good shot at doubles and then homers. I mean, this guy feels like he's definitely doing it. But what's surprising is, did he only have like 20 home runs?
Yeah, I mean, he had less than 500 plate appearances. But I just did the percentages. So in 600 PAs, he would average just over 31 homers, just like Mike Lieberthal. So like he would have 31.38 home runs per 600 plate appearances. Lieberthal. And Lieberthal got so screwed.
Well, yeah, he's only 5 points less in on base.
Lieberthal averaged over 32 homers.
Yeah, he gets the 8.
And he's got .005 less OBP, and he
got shafted.
You know what's also weird here is that like I just Googled him to look him up, and I'm looking at his 01 card, which we'll cover more. But his 01 card is a better chart, same defense. 1 less on base, so he's an 8, and yet he's 70 points cheaper, right? So it's also pretty confusing to me there that there's no question I would be choosing his 01 card every time.
For Scott Rolen?
It depends on how much you value on base. I mean, on base 9 is very, very strong.
Right, but he like his 01 card for his 2000 card is doubling at 15 with an on base 9, which is nothing bad. But his 01 card is on base 8, doubling at 13.
That's
he's only
good.
He's 1 to 3 out, singling at 7.
That's pretty damn good.
Yes, I never realized how good that 01 card was.
And his on base rose between 99 and 2000.
Oh, that's fantastic. So they really don't know what the fuck they're doing.
He had a lower home run rate, but he did get the triple. Yeah.
Wow. So that's very confusing. Okay. Next up, everyone's favorite bloody sock is Curt Schilling. The card is obviously just monstrous because of the 8 IP as a control 6. So he's basically throwing complete game every single time you've played with him. There's no reason why he couldn't or shouldn't pitch a complete game for you because he probably is not getting beat up a lot. Though the 15 out is probably the part that hurts. I like a 1 through 16 out guy better, but this card's phenomenal.
Man.
Yeah, Bob, how is this? He's definitely gotten drafted in our leagues.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you remember how he's done?
It's hit or miss. I've seen him get completely shelled, and it's really just depending on roles because if you're getting 17, 18, 19, you're just going to keep moving runners. And it's always on his chart because he's so dominant as a control 6. He just blows through people. But if they get the chart or if they get the rolls, they'll beat him up a little bit. But he's pretty fucking dominant. It's just interesting because like you could have like Eric Milton for like 70 less points. You just get like 2 less innings. So
right. And if you have decent relievers, just play a Milton through 7 or 8 anyway, and then just just put in a middle tier reliever.
It's just Curt Schilling got those 8 complete games. That's the reason he got the 8 IP.
And the year before, he had 15.
Oh wow!
What the hell?
And
out of 35 starts.
he wouldn't even be a tier 2 in our set, though.
No.
Yeah, he had a decent whip. I mean, I'm saying decent is relative here, but his ERA was rough.
Yeah, he would be in the next. He'd be in the 5 out through 15 type of starter role.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, is most of the pitchers in this one because the
Yeah.
ERA is so high.
Yeah. That's what's actually, well, again, I don't want to keep playing with your remastered idea here. But that actually would be the most, I think, shocking thing that people would see would not be the batting, would be the pitching would be all over the place. Because like we've talked about this on the earlier podcast where like the 3 Cy Young winners, or sorry, the top 3 Cy Young voters were all control 3s.
Yeah.
So it was Randy Johnson, Kevin Millwood, and Mike Hampton.
I'm still excited to get to Mike Hampton, the travesty that is his card.
Yes, yes, and we will get there maybe next time, people. But yeah, great card. He gets drafted a lot. He just seems expensive. It just really depends on what team you're building. If you're not gonna put salary into your bullpen, or you want that for sure rest day, he's probably gonna get you the win. 7 times out of 10 here. I mean, 9 times out of 10. He's going to do very well for you. It just 600 points is a lot to spend on a pitcher. But I'd rather have him than spend 630 on Randy Johnson. So
yeah, I would definitely do Schilling, no question.
Yeah, Randy Johnson. That's what I think hurts his card the most is that he gets the control 3 for almost no reason.
Big strikeout range.
Well, that's it. But next up. Kevin Cishek, is it Cishek or Sefcik?
Sefcik, probably.
Another pretty valuable card here with the A-Speed 9 for only 310, but I've played with this guy before, and it's just very disappointing when you can't hit the home run.
Lead him off. He's
looks cool.
Yeah.
Look at those shades.
Yeah.
Where's that jersey from?
I'm also just.
Is that spring training?
It has to be. I mean, I assume most of these pictures got taken in spring training.
I think Abreu had that jersey on the first card.
Is that
it's different.
Oh yeah.
Damn. If he has the red stripes, it's the same jersey. So it's got to be spring training.
So he was just one of their utility guys for the outfield.
Yeah, he didn't play a lot.
Yeah, I remember always being conflicted about who I was going to play in like the 2 outfield spots when I was doing the Phillies. Obviously, it should be Gant and Glanville, but I'd be like, oh, he looks so cool with his red jersey and his sunglasses. And
you DH somebody.
you lead off and Glanville hits second.
He played second sometimes too.
Yeah, it's interesting that they just gave he's the utility designation on Baseball Reference, but they only gave him the OF here. Yeah.
Man, if I'd known that, I would have shifted him to second base constantly instead of like Marlon Anderson and Kevin Jordan.
In the entire pennant run set.
Next up, we have Mickey Morandini, which I usually know him from the Cubs. But he, I guess the best thing you want here or can say here is that he's only 90 points, so you can save some salary. But man, pretty rough card. I really don't like this card a lot.
It's rough for 90. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wouldn't at all.
He's
Next-
got a triple.
He does have a triple. It's a
That
weird
matters to
card.
some
It's like
people.
no doubles.
Yeah. Just don't roll an 18. Roll a 19.
Yes.
And you're good.
That's what will probably piss off most people is like rolling that 18. Fuck.
Yeah, you're expecting at least a double out of that.
Yeah. Next up is Robert Persons. He actually gets drafted. I lied. His 01 card gets drafted a lot. This card does not. Now you're spending 100 points for a 0 that gives it the double. There's almost no value here. This card also should have gotten a home run chart, right, Matt?
Yeah, wait, what the hell? Like, the other guy, OJ, was like
10
he
points.
was 10 points for 19-20 double homer.
Yeah. that
He's
home run is
100
valuable.
points for a 19 walk, 20 double. Just give me OJ. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's unbelievable.
Well,
The
I think
points
the
are
guy didn't we just look at a guy last set who was like 70 points, basically the same card?
right, exactly.
70 or is he 90? He might have been 90, but either way, it's cheaper than this. But
Let's wait for
Yeah.
Dave Veers.
next
He should
up
have definitely
is,
gotten a home run.
next up is Desi Rellford. 6 on base, no fielding for shortstop. 100 points here. Not an A speed. Yeah, a lot of singles. Not really a draftable card.
No.
Their pennant run was like a run for the tank.
Yeah, it's okay, and that was actually the last card. So yeah, we just went through the team. Nothing very good there. Let's see here. Yeah. So in terms of the Phillies, there was a lot less star-studded than I remember. I do like Doug Glanville. I do like Scott Rolen and Bobby Abreu and Curt Schilling. I did not know how disappointing I was with Lieberthal. So I'm interested to see like what he really could be. But what do you guys think? Any closing words on the Phillies?
Thank God for Bryce Harper.
They're not as God. They're like deceivingly bad though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 1,150 points just for Abreu and Schilling, and then look at the point distribution for the rest of them, or at least what the cards are.
Yep.
Woof.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for listening, and stay tuned for the next time.